Alright, so this quiz, like I said, covers sections 2.3b, 2.3c, and 2.3d sub 1, okay, the parallel line section. So, there's going to be, I think, a total of 10 questions they're going to ask you tomorrow. It's going to probably take you a little while. So let's kind of go over some of these questions, okay? So the first one that I want to discuss here, so number 1. I'm going to write the equation in slope-intercept form. I'll just write it. You guys can abbreviate if you want. Write the equation in slope-intercept form. Remember, you could just write SIF. That's fine. Okay. You can write EQ for equation. So maybe you have a problem that looks like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this equation in slope-intercept form. Again, what is slope-intercept form? That's y equals mx plus b. Right? So that's my goal. Y equals to something. Okay? So I got to move that 3x over to the right side. So let's just move that over. I get negative 2y is equal to the 3x. What does it become? Negative, right? So yeah, minus 3x minus 12. Okay? What's my last step? Divide by negative 2. Right, yeah. I'm hearing you here. Divide by negative 2. Don't forget, guys, some people were surprised yesterday. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, okay? Don't forget those rules, right? Positive divided by negative is still negative, but negatives divided by negatives are positive. So this is y equal to 3 over 2x plus 6. And you're done. This problem is finished. Okay? So not much more to do with that one. You just have to write it in slope-intercept form. In other words, solve for y. I think I even put that in our notes. Solve for y. Okay? So make sure you guys remember, if they ever want me to write an equation in slope-intercept form, all I'm doing is solving for y. That's it. Okay? Now, the next type of question they're going to ask you to do. By the way, there's 2 of these, okay? 2 of these. Then there's 2 of this next type right here. And they want me to sketch the graph of the line. All right, so you want me to sketch the graph of the line. And here's the line. Let's see, let's write this out here. And let me put a grid here for us. You guys will already be provided a grid, okay, so you don't have to worry about drawing one out. There's going to be a lot of grids in this quiz. So they want me to sketch the graph of the line. Now I do want to remind you guys about this, okay? Right now it looks like this form, y equals mx plus b. Remember what I told you guys. B is where you begin. Right? That's where I begin. Okay? And then the m value, that's where I move from there. Okay? So I'm going to put my pencil right where the B is. I'm going to put a dot. And then from that dot, I'm going to move according to what m tells me to do. What's my B value? 2. 2. Okay, so I'm going to put B equals 2. What's my m value? Negative 1. What was it? Third, right? So I need to begin at 2. Remember, B is called my y-intercept. That means it's on the y-axis. Okay? So I'm going to go to 2 on the y-axis. So it's right here. Okay? And then I need to go down or up. Down, because m is negative, right? If m is negative, that means I got to move down. If m is positive, I got to move up. So I'm going to move down 1 time, and how many times over? 3, right? It's 1 down, 3 over to the right. So 1 down, 3 over to the right, Here you go. I'm going to connect these dots. Try to extend your lines the whole length of the graph. Okay, don't do like little tiny lines. Try to extend it. But there you go. There's two of these. These are easy because they're already set up for you. You don't have to do anything. It's already going to be given to you as y equals something. So all you have to do is identify the slope-intercept, which is b. Identify your slope, which is m. And if you remember the begin and the move part, right? Like I start here, then I move here, right? Then this should be pretty straightforward. It shouldn't take you too long to do. So those are 4 total problems. Remember, I told you you have 10 of them to do. Okay? If you've done these 4 so far, let's say you did 4 of these completely right, all you need is 1 more to at least get 50%. Okay, let's try to get more than that, but we're approaching the 50% part. Now, the next question is going to look like this. Sketch the graph of the line. Same thing. It's going to say rewrite the equation, but I'm just going to put write in slope-intercept form and sketch the graph. So write it in slope-intercept form and then sketch the graph. So here we go. Here's the problem I want you guys to try out. Let me draw a coordinate plane under it. Like I said, on your test, you already have one, so you don't have to waste time doing this. But unfortunately, I can't just magically make these things pop up on your paper. It'd be nice. I'm sure there's a device that does that, where I can just kind of like go like that and then just click it and then it just goes out to the whole class. I'm sure there's something out there, but we don't have that. So the instructions on the test are going to say rewrite the equation in slope-intercept form. So all you have to do is rewrite it, okay, and then draw it. So basically, you're going to do numbers 1 and 2. Number 1 said rewrite it in slope-intercept form. Number 2 said graph it, right? So we're basically combining 1 and 2, and we created problem number 3. So let's go ahead and rewrite it. Remember, we want to solve for y, right? That's what I'm looking for. So I want it to look like this. That's my goal. Okay? They said write in slope-intercept form. What's slope-intercept form? Y equals mx plus b. Now, let's get my equation. 2x minus y equals -2. And I'm going to solve for y. Okay? Oh, so I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides here. So it's going to be -y is equal to -2x minus 2. Okay? And then to get y by itself, all I got to do is divide everything by -1. I know there's no 1 there, but whenever there's no number, there's usually a 1, right? So I'm going to divide everything by -1. So y is equal to 2x plus 2. I'm done with the first part, right? Write it in slope-intercept form. I'm done. Now I just need to sketch it, but in order to sketch it, I need to know my slope, I need to know my intercept, right? My b value and my m value. So what's b? 2. Now, actually, both of these are 2, but the b value is at the very end, right? The number by itself. M is also 2, but that's what's next to the x, right? Now, since it is a slope, usually we don't like to write just the whole number. Yeah, we want to write it as a fraction. So just put 2 over 1. Okay? So that means I get to start at 2, okay, because of b. So b tells me to start at 2. And then my slope is positive, so I go up. And then twice up, once over. So twice up, once to the right. And we're done. So just do the best you can to draw a straight line. Use your ID card if you'd like. It's fine. But there you go. There's 2 of those. So if you're able to do these 3 so far, you've now done 6 out of 10, you're at 60%, so you at least got a D. Okay? So, I mean, personally, I don't think these have been that hard. Okay? The harder one's coming towards the very end. Okay? This next one is like super easy. Okay? These are the ones that I think you guys probably liked when we did the notes for it. So it says, write the slope-intercept form. This is, this is number 4. Write the slope-intercept form. Give me a second. All right, so sorry about that. The pen fell asleep. So number 4 says, write the slope-intercept form given m, or let me write the words because they actually write it, given the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, so they'll give us a slope, let's say 4 over 3, and then they're going to give us a y-intercept, let's say -3. Now the reason why I say this is super easy is because he said write the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, right? And all you need to figure out is m and b, but they literally gave me m and b. Okay? Actually, they didn't even write m there. They wrote the word slope, so sorry about that. But you guys should know slope is m and the y-intercept is b, right? So I'm just going to rewrite it really quick. M is 4/3. B is -3. That's what they gave me. So let me just write it into that formula. Y equals mx plus b. So it's going to be y equals 4/3 x minus 3. And that's it. So if you can get this right, you are now at 70%. That means you got a C minus. You got 3 more to go, and these last 3 are the tougher ones. Okay? But I think everybody should at least be able to get 70% of this. Like, it's not that bad. The next step is where it starts to get a little confusing. Right? So, here we go. Any questions so far on the first 4? So we're going to start easiest to hardest. So the last one we do is going to be like the toughest one. Okay? But doesn't mean it's impossible. It's just kind of gives you an idea of what to expect. So the first one says, write the slope-intercept form. Again, you guys can put SIF. Write the slope-intercept form given a point and a slope. So PT means point, okay? So given a point and a slope. And they're going to say like, through, let's say -2, 1, or we'll put -2, 0. And then they're going to say the slope is, let's say, 3. Again, the equation is y equals mx plus b, right? So I've been writing that over and over and over again. Why am I doing that? Because that's slope-intercept form. In order to write an equation in slope-intercept form, I need m and I need b. Did they give me m? Yes. Did they give me b? No, they gave me a point. That's okay. They did give me m. So I know this is m equals to 3. That's perfect. I just got to figure out b. Okay? So I know m is equal to 3. That's great. Now let me use that formula, y equals mx plus b, with the m value and the xy values from these points. So here we go. Y equals mx plus b. So y is 0, m is 3, x is -2, plus b. Now I only got one variable to solve for, which is the one I need. So 0 is equal to -6 plus b. That means that b has to be what? 6, right? Because this -6 has to move over. So now I know m, now I know b, now I just plug it in, and I'm done. Okay, so y equals 3x plus 6. And now I have a B minus on this test. Okay? But notice this was a lot more work than any of the other stuff, really. Right? Like I actually had to go through a process, not just solve for y, but I have to say like, okay, gotta do this, gotta do that. Well, the next one is just the same thing, just that they're not gonna give me a slope and they're not gonna give me an intercept. They're just gonna give me 2 points. Okay? So this one is like one of the tougher ones. This will be number 7. So write the slope-intercept form. Here, we got 10 minutes. I'm just checking time. We got 10 minutes here. Write the slope-intercept form given 2 points. So we should be able to get this thing done with enough time. We're just a little busy, right? We're not going to have a free time here. So I'm going to put through 4, 0 and 3, 2. I'll give you those 2 points. So again, they want slope-intercept form, so I'm going to write it down again, right? I'm going to say, okay, this is my goal, y equals mx plus b. Did they give me m? No. Did they give me b? No. I got to figure them both out. But the nice thing is, when I have 2 points, I can easily figure out m because there's a formula, right? I'm going to write it down for us. M is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Right? I just need 2 points. That's it. And I have them. So let me write them down. x1, y1, x2, y2. And let me now start using that formula to help me do the work. So y2 minus y1, that's going to be 2 minus 0 over, and forgot to put that parenthesis there, x2 minus x1, that's going to be 3 minus 4. So the top is 2, the bottom, negative 1. So m is negative 2. All right, great. I know my m value. Well, in the previous problem, they gave me m, they gave me a point, and I was able to do the work, right? The way I did it was by plugging it into the equation and solving for b. Once I have a slope and a point, I can use the equation to solve for b. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay? Let me just change color here. So I know m, I got to solve for b, and I got points. Which point would you want me to use? 4, 0, 3, 2, I don't care. 3, 2. All right, I have 3, 2 first. I would have picked 4, 0 because 0 is easier. But it's okay. We'll use 3, 2. It doesn't matter. Okay, yesterday, one of my students gave me the one with the negatives, and I'm like, why? But, oh, well, whatever. We'll do it. No big deal. So 3, 2, I'm going to use this point, okay? It doesn't matter which one you use. But it does matter that you use a slope of negative 2. So here we go. So y equals mx plus b. Y would be 2, m is negative 2, and x is 3, no problem, plus b. All right, 2 equals to negative 6 plus b. By the way, if any one of you guys use the 4, 0, if you want to, use 4, 0. Notice we're going to get the same answer. It's not going to matter, okay? So we'll move the negative 6 over. I get b equals to 8. Right? So now I know m, now I know b. So that means I can plug it into my formula and be done with it. So y equals negative 2x plus 8. Did anybody try it with 4, 0? You did? Did you get an 8 as well? Yeah, it's going to come out the same. If they didn't, one of us is wrong. Or maybe both. But one of us for sure has to be wrong. We must have miscalculated. So there you go. So we got one last one to do. Okay, one last one. And we haven't done any parallel line problems, right? So obviously this one has to be parallel line. So we got 6 minutes. Let's try to get it done. All right. So, what is it, number 8? Yes. All right, last one here. write the slope-intercept form. Of the line. And we're going to go through, let's say 0, 4, and parallel to y equal to 3x plus 1. Now this one may look more complicated, but I promise you the one we did before was harder. This one's easier. What does it mean when lines are parallel? They don't intersect, yeah, but what's important about their slopes? They're the same, right? They're the same. Slopes are equal. So if they want me to write a new equation of a line that's parallel to y equals 3x plus 1, what is the slope of the new line? Has to be 3. Thank you. It has to be the same, right? Has to be the same. So notice, I have M. Do I have B? I kind of do. It's 4, but it's hidden. So a lot of times people don't see it. 0, 4 is actually a point on the y-axis. But let's just pretend I didn't see it. Let's solve for B. Okay? So, I'm going to use y equals mx plus b, right? So if I plug in 4 equals 3 times 0 plus b, well, 3 times 0 is 0. So 0 plus b is just b. Notice how b is 4, right? It's from that point right there. So now that I have m and b, just write your answer. Y equals 3x plus 4. And we're done.